How did I end up here? Lying in your arms, watching city lights.
Well, here we are once again with my top 10 favourite games. This will be a yearly tradition of the channel if I didn't miss it last year, but hey, what can you do? But anyway, because the title of the video kind of explains everything as it is, and I'm sort of bad at segues, that's a character trait of mine now I guess, I think it's just best if we get into the list already. And so, for my last video of the year, I welcome you to my top 10 favourite games, 2019 edition. Well, I've talked about this game, book, in the past few. I also did a Let's Play of the book itself. Wait, how does one Let's Play a visual novel? Should it be called a Let's Read? But, whatever, I'm getting off track here. But yeah, DDLC is quite an enigma, you could say. It starts off all innocent, drawing you in with its cutesy, simplistic art style, and then just backhands you when you're most vulnerable. As a quick side note, the first time I actually played through DDLC for myself was my Let's Play in early September. So, in other words, I did a review of DDLC before I actually played through it. Yep. But to be honest, you don't really need to play through DDLC to know what it's about. You can just watch someone else play it and watch them suffer as a result. If you want the full experience, heightened by the fact that certain happenings in Act 2 are influenced by RNG, so no two playthroughs are likely to be the same, then play it for yourself. I want you to keep this one brief, and so with that in mind, DDLC is truly one of the best visual novels out there, but I'm only saying that because it's the only visual novel I've read through to this day, so take that comment with a pinch of salt. Or don't, I don't know. Well, fuck me, I guess I've got to talk about this game again, huh? Sorry, that was out of character. So yeah, previously having been number 1 on the list in 2016, then number 4 on the list in 2017, how the hell has Overwatch fallen this far for me? Well, first off, if it's still in my top 10, it obviously still has some value to me, and second, well, things change, to put it simply. Now, it isn't like this list is my least favourite games or anything, so there's no need to act too somber here. But nevertheless, considering I have talked extensively about this game in the past, in 3 separate but 2 retconned reviews and in previous lists, I will try to keep this brief. I do still get some enjoyment out of Overwatch, admittedly. I don't play it as much as I used to, granted, but when I actually bring myself to, I find myself honestly having a good time. The thing that keeps me coming back to Overwatch is, of course, the hero-based gameplay. That's one thing I always praise Overwatch for. Oh, and the hero skins too, they're always awesome. All that aside, I generally don't know what else to say about Overwatch that I already haven't spoken about in length, so listen. I still enjoy it, despite some of its shortcomings. I'm just a little burnt out with it, but it will always have a place in my heart, as corny as that sounds. Being real with you here, Rise of the Tomb Raider was originally just on my backlog of games for the longest time, and considering that, for me, anything that goes to the backlog is unfortunately destined to never be played, it's a wonder that I actually picked up Rise of the Tomb Raider again. I mean, look at this backlog, what am I even doing at this point? I shouldn't have been playing video games, goddammit. Anyway, Rise of the Tomb Raider was my standout game of the year. Which, for that to apply, said game would have to come out during the year while Rise of the Tomb Raider released in 2015, but nevertheless, see, from start to finish, I thought Rise of the Tomb Raider was a great time. The story, well, it's nothing too deep nor overly interesting, but it'd also be wrong for me to say that I didn't care for the story because at points I was legitimately invested. Gameplay wise, it's pretty solid. The puzzles were fun and at points rather brain taxing, but I don't exactly have an IQ that high, so take that one with a pinch of salt, I guess. Oh, and for the voice acting in this game, I think it's not half bad. I personally enjoyed Camilla Luddington as Lara Croft. I think she does a stellar job, and that's about it. I don't know, the rest of the voice actors and voice actresses do a decent enough job, I guess. It's just none of them really stuck out to me too much. It's really hard for me to talk about this one in a condensed fashion because I generally have a lot to say. Maybe I'll talk about it more in a future review. Let's put that one down as a maybe. But yeah, I honestly had a fun time with this one. In fact, it's a wonder why it took me close to a year to actually finish it. Let it be known that, for me, that doesn't speak for its quality. I just sometimes put games down and don't end up picking them up again for a while, for whatever reason. So, in that sense, Rise of the Tomb Raider should feel honoured? I don't know, but it's still a great game though. Yet another game I've talked about previously on the channel, in fact, recently at that, in review, which, there's the card, so go click it. To keep things brief once again, Minecraft is a really simple game on the surface that keeps you invested with a constantly dangling carrot of freedom. I really shouldn't write my own scripts. Anyway, as much as putting a game like Minecraft at number 7 in a top 10 may seem like somewhat of an insult, I assure you that it isn't. Just trust me on this one. I really do love Minecraft, whether that be for its limitless possibilities for what you can do, which is dependent on one's imagination of course, or just for how you can generally sit back and relax while you play the game, which is something I adore. A more recent outing of mine, I picked up SMG2 again early in November after being convinced to play it again, thanks to Chococonroy who was Let's Playing it at the time, and after picking it up again, I instantly fell in love with it. Just this game, man, it's so fun to play. Many of these galaxies are a joy to play through, and admittedly, for the longest time, I've wanted to do a follow-up to my top 5 favourite galaxies from my galaxy list. But about my favourite Galaxy 2 galaxies, of course. Well, that's redundant. Jeez. However, since I don't know if I will ever get round to that, I'm going to name a few off here that I think are really good. Those being Fluffy Bluff Galaxy, Cosmic Cove Galaxy, Rolling Masterpiece Galaxy, Sweet Mystery Galaxy, and Supermassive Galaxy. All of those are either fantastic in terms of their level design, how they look visually, or in terms of their music, and, while this has been said many times before, SMG2 has an amazing soundtrack. Both the Galaxy games have amazing OSTs honestly, and while I don't think I can decide which one I prefer, just, man, the music in Galaxy 2 is so good. SMG2 sounds great, it looks great, and it's really fun to play. What more could you ask for? Well, maybe the movement system in my Odyssey, because SMG2 felt a little sluggish in comparison at times, but despite that, SMG2 is still fantastic. Truly, SMG2 is one of, if not the best 3D Mario out there. Animal Crossing. A series I've fallen in love with in recent years. My first introduction to this series was with New Leaf back when it first released in 2013. Outside of Japan, I mean. Since then, I put a sizable amount of time into the game, but why exactly? Well, Animal Crossing is just a series you can play for about 20 minutes to an hour each day, just going about your daily activities, and while that may sound kinda shallow to some, to me, I find it relaxing. I love just playing it every day, catching up with my town's villagers, or just slowly watching my little town grow while listening to the calming and or upbeat music that accompanies me. It's difficult for me to tell you why in a condensed fashion like this, but trust me when I say that New Leaf means a lot to me. One you would realise. I love this game. I love how it sounds, I love how it looks, and especially love how laid back it is. Just make some hot chocolate, sit back, and relax, all the while the beautiful 7 PM piece accompanies you on your little wander around town. Seriously, just listen to the 7 PM piece. Man, quite a drastic genre change, huh? So, Astral Chain is the most recent game from Platinum Games, the ones behind other spectacle hack and slash games like Metal Gear Rising, Nier Automata, and a series they're best well known for, Bayonetta. It's no secret that Platinum Games are a master of their art in intense action games, and Astral Chain is no exception. The combat is extremely satisfying to pull off, and most importantly, it's fun. Yeah, from start to finish, well, excluding the wild goose chase just sent on in K6 anyway, I had a super fun time playing through Astral Chain. Now, that may be because I'm an adrenaline junkie and just adore intense action sequences in any form of media, but putting that aside, if you don't share that kind of thing with me, I do still think you're likely to get a great time out of Astral Chain. To complement the gameplay is a fairly solid soundtrack. A few tracks that immediately come to mind is Arc Maul's theme, which a cover of by Gabo Karina 96 is playing in the background right now, Task Force Neuron, which is the theme of the hub area in Astral Chain, and Astral Plane, which is the theme of, well, the Astral Plane that you travel to in the game. In fact, Astral Chain's soundtrack reminds me a lot of Xenoblade Chronicles X's soundtrack, and in my eyes, or to my ears I guess, that's a good thing. Personally, I just love Astral Chain's art direction. It's super stylistic in its presentation, but what more can you expect from Platinum Games? It's just pleasing to look at. I would love to go into more detail about this game honestly, but given the condensed fashion of this video, as I keep reiterating, I can only say so much at a time. But maybe for a future righteous review? Again, we'll put that one down as a maybe. Oh boy, this was inevitable, wasn't it? I know, I won't be touching the pre-release drama surrounding this game, not even with a 50-foot pole. At least, not. But regardless, Pokemon Sword and Shield, or just Sword in my case, was my most anticipated release of this year, mostly because, well, it's a brand new Pokemon game on Nintendo Switch. And no, Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee don't count, get them out of my face! Oh, where was I? Oh, right. Being the first proper mainline installments on the Switch, I honestly think it's safe to say that Game Freak did a fantastic job with this one. From the rather intriguing take on a story that centers around ancient Galar history to some stunning visual scenarios, oh hey there Mr. Tree, to many of the brand new Pokemon, and to many of the characters, personally I think Pokemon Sword and Shield are great games. Truth be told, on my playthrough of Sword, I honestly felt like I was playing Pokemon for the first time again. I loved that feeling. It may have been because I went in almost completely blind, so certain aspects, such as seeing new Pokemon for the first time was a given, but I just had so much fun with this, from start to finish. There were a lot of things I ended up loving about Pokemon Sword, such as the wild area, the character writing, many of the little story scenarios, and the music. Oh, the music, just... God, this game has such a great soundtrack. A few of my favourites include the Wild Battle theme, the Gym Leader Battle theme, Marnie's Battle theme, Alina's Battle theme, and Faye's theme of the Eternatus fight. But then again, the Pokemon series always has good music, no matter the quality of the games themselves, so...
Colors weave into a fire of flame. Distant sparks call to a past still unnamed.
Ultimate is the right word to describe this game. Smash Bros is a series I hold super close to my heart for a lot of reasons, but seeing as, unfortunately, that's not the focus here, allow me to go into brief detail about Smash Ultimate. Getting straight to the point here, Smash Ultimate is just so good. It's the perfect Smash Bros in my opinion. Okay, well that's not exactly accurate. It does lack a few things that I would have loved to see, but one step at a time here. Being the most anticipated indie game of 2018, Smash Ultimate really hit the ground running on release. Now, it's Smash Bros, of course it's going to do well, but given we were promised future DLC characters post-release, with 4 of them later being revealed as Joker from Persona 5, the heroes from the Dragon Quest series, Banjo-Kazooie from, well, you know, and most recently Terry Bogard from the King of Fighters series. Yeah, quite the stacked newcomer list on top of the already existing 70 fighters. Yeah, this game has 70 different fighters to choose from, currently 74 at the time of writing the script, with the final Final Pass character yet to be revealed, and even more future DLC to come after the pass concludes. Smash Ultimate is truly the gift that keeps on giving. It's just so fun to play honestly. My apologies, I'm not exactly a scholar or anything, so if my views come off as basic and or shallow at points, I'm sorry, that's just how I am. But regardless, I love Smash Ultimate. I just always have so much fun playing it. either alone in modes like Classic or just sparring with high level CPUs, or with friends all the while I get my ass absolutely handed to me. But that doesn't matter because I'm still having fun. And that's what Smash Ultimate is, fun. Is it perfect? Well, no, but at the end of the day, nothing's perfect. You have to keep that in mind. But with what Sakurai and the dev team behind Ultimate have given us, that really doesn't matter. Ultimate, appropriately enough, is the ultimate Smash Bros experience. I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. I would say I can't wait for this list to be outdated, but considering I wrote this script way ahead of time, yeah, I guess that falls on me. But before we get on to number 1, which, if you know me at all, you probably already guessed what it's going to be, I just want to give mention to, well, a few honourable mentions for other games I've played this year that didn't quite make the list for one reason or another.
Okay!
Only 1 minute left.
Well, you found me. Congratulations. Was it worth it? Because despite your violent behavior, the only thing you've managed to break so far is my heart.
Getting straight to the point here, I adore this game. That should be obvious seeing as it's number 1 on this list, and actually I did intend for Xenoblade Chronicles 2 to be my 5th review in my Righteous Reviews series before I scrapped it in favour of Minecraft, so you wouldn't have to sit through a 2-hour review. Yeah, I love XE2 that much. I will do my best to keep this entry brief, but my apologies if I end up going a little overboard with this one. So, Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I got this game for Christmas of 2018 and ended up sinking around 70 hours into it in the first 5 days alone, which is kind of insane, I'll be honest with you. Especially when you consider that it took me 10 months to clock 100 hours into Super Mario Odyssey, so yeah, you could say I was hooked from the get-go. But why? Well, I just had such a good time playing XE2 that I didn't want to put it down. The things that kept me hooked were the characters, the gameplay, the writing, the story, and the soundtrack, so yeah, if it succeeds in all of those, I guess you could say it's the perfect game? Well, not exactly. XE2 has some pretty prevalent flaws, I'll be first to admit, but I'll save those for another time. Maybe for a future review? We'll see. But anyway, XE2, in my eyes, is just wonderful. I briefly mentioned it just, but to touch more on it, one aspect I loved the most about the game were, and are, the characters. They're all well written, some better than others to be honest. I just found myself getting so attached to these characters that, well, I didn't want to stop playing. And if you're wondering, my favourite character is Naya. I love how she's written, sarcastic and cynical, which is something I can actually relate to. And oh, the soundtrack, man, it's so good. In previous Xenoblade games, there were only a few tracks I particularly liked, but in XE2, I can say that I like or even love the majority of them. A few that come to mind are as follows. The unique enemy battle theme, White All Around Us, Funza Mimer's night theme, the Power of Jin, and Drifting Soul, which is playing in the background right now. All of these, and more, are fantastic in my opinion. I do genuinely want to go into more detail about why I love XE2 so much, but I don't really want to extend this video's runtime by another 30 minutes, so I'm having to keep things condensed here. That and because the video format, but that's not the point. Anyway, Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I love this game so much, it truly means a lot to me, and hopefully, I'll get to elaborate more on why in future, but until then, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is currently my favourite game, and unlike Overwatch in 2016, I honestly do not see that changing anytime soon. Thank you for another great Xenoblade game on the soft. I am looking forward to Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition next year. And so, that was the list. My bad if things dragged on a little, but when I'm passionate about something, I sometimes just can't stop myself. And that's what this list is meant to be about. The things I'm passionate about. video games. And my favourite video games, nevertheless. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed listening to me ramble on about video games for however long this video turns out to be. And with that, until I see you again, I still don't have an intro, god damn it!